are. Okay, welcome to today's live. And the song on the background is The Goodness of the Lord. God has been so faithful. Today has been my birthday, it still is, and I'm just feeling so grateful. God has been so faithful. Has God ever been so faithful to you that you even marvel at his goodness, at his faithfulness? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. So this is a song that has been just going through my mind today. All my life you have been faithful. Yes, God has been so faithful, and I am so grateful. You have been so good. Yes, and I'm so excited about the conversation we have today. Thank you so much, Kimati, for joining me. And I'm just waiting for our guest today so that we can dive right into our topic for the day. Today is an interesting day. We'll be talking about how to end things respectfully, because sometimes relationships, they end. Sometimes, in this journey of life, you'll be heartbroken, or you will heartbreak someone, but how is the right way to end things respectfully, without, of course it's painful, but without making it worse? So, and how do you actually heal from a heartbreak? I know this is Valentine's month and many hearts will be broken, unfortunately, and it's good to have this topic and really look at what is the reality. It's running after me. Yeah, so I'm so excited about today because it's been my birthday, so I've just been reflecting on God's goodness and all that he's done to me, and he's been so faithful. Just looking back at my 31 years of life, because today is my 32nd birthday, I have really experienced God's goodness, and I am so grateful. I am grateful every other day, and I can't wait. This is going to be a beautiful year full of adventure, and I'm so excited. Meanwhile, waiting for my guest, I am just going to check all the goodness of God. So I know our guest will be here anytime from now. She's coming any minute from now, and we'll get started. And this is a wonderful conversation, and I'm looking forward to learning, and I hope everyone who will be watching this later, there's so much to learn today. And yes, I hope this helps. I hope this helps us in whatever situation we are in, and whoever will maybe be watching this and is going through a heartbreak or broken relationship, I hope these sentiments that will be shared today will help you, and that you find healing. And yeah, I wish you well. So let me just check on my guest again. So Rebecca, if you can see me, please, down there when you tap or try to comment, you will see up on the corner, just if you can comment, then after you comment, then you will see on your right a request to join, and then you just click on it. That I have the goodness of God. Yes, Rebecca, here you are. Yes, so I hope you've seen the place where you can request to join. I will sing of the goodness of God. I think Rebecca, on your right, you'll be able to see a place that asks you, would you like to join? You have to send me a oh yes, here you are. Okay, so on my end it's saying waiting for Rebecca Wamwene. So okay, here you are. Hi Rebecca, I can see your beautiful wall right there. Sorry. Hi Rebecca, can you hear me? Yes, I can see you, though your video is upside down. I do not know why. Hi Vinny, it's so nice to see you. Hi Cassie Volk, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to get started right now.
Can you see me, Joy?
Yes, good. But although I can't see you, I can see you halfway. I can't see your head. I maybe lift your camera a bit, or
How about now?
yes, that's better. That's better.
Okay.
Now, yes, now the video is on sideways. Really sorry, I'm not so sure. Maybe you can position it in a way so that you're looking upright. But anyway, as I wait for Rebecca to be able to set up, I just want to welcome everyone to today's conversation. We have an amazing conversation today, and my goodness, you don't want to miss this conversation because we're talking about breaking up. Because sometimes it happens and it gets there, but does it have to be dramatic? Does it have to be messy? And after it happens, how do you pick your pieces and how do you find your healing? Well, this is a very important topic, and yes, this is the love month, and as we look forward to the Valentines and everything, it's also important to talk about this. In case there's anyone who's going through this, then you are at the right place because today we are having this conversation. Yes, that's now good. That's upright. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's better. All right. Okay. So we can get started. Good. Go right into the topic. But before we do that, we love to start with a word of prayer. So I'm going to just lead us in a prayer, then we can get started. Okay, let us believe and pray. Thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for this wonderful day. It is a day that you have made, and we'll be glad and rejoice in it. Thank you for giving us a wonderful day today. And Lord, as we begin this conversation, we ask for your presence, and we ask that you will give us a good time. And I pray for everyone who will watch us and those who will watch this video later, Lord, that this will minister to them and it will help someone, oh Lord, who needs that encouragement, oh Lord, who needs healing, oh God, especially at this time. Maybe they're going through a hard time or a breakup. The Lord, they will find new strength to wake up, pick up the pieces and move on. Thank you for Rebecca. Thank you that we have her today. And we pray that, Lord, you bless her for the wonderful work she's doing and for her sharing with us today. For this we pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen. So once again, Rebecca, I am so happy to host you today. Don't worry so much if the video is not so clear. I know it's evening, even my video, I can see it's not that clear. As long as we can hear you, I think that is great. Are you good to go now so that we can get started?
Yes, I am good to go, Joy.
Amazing, amazing. So I was just telling people earlier that today has been my birthday and I am so grateful. So that's why I was playing this song, The Goodness of God. And yeah, I truly am grateful to God. He's been faithful, he's been a father, he's been a friend, and I've just had a wonderful day, and that's the song that has been ringing on my mind today. But anyway, we are happy to have this conversation. And I'd like you to, first of all, introduce yourself briefly, then we can get to talk about today's topic.
Wow, thank you very much, Joy, for having me today. Challenges come and go, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy and sure that the Lord will help us to always be patient. That is one of the
Yes.
tests in life. I have been
Mm-hmm.
well, and I thank God for this wonderful opportunity. I'm Rebecca Wamwene. I am a mother of three
Mm-hmm.
teens, married to Mr. Awero. I'm a therapist, and my area of focus is family therapy and chemical and non-chemical addictions. That is too much, maybe. One would think that is too much for one person, but then it
Mm-hmm.
isn't, because the two or the three or the many marry
Yeah.
so well. Many of the
Mm-hmm.
dysfunctionalities we find in families are
Mm-hmm.
born or have a source from the chemicals and the non-chemicals. The chemicals are the drugs, the alcohol, those ones that we induce in ourselves. And the
Mm-hmm.
non-chemicals are such as pornography, gambling, religious addiction, and all those. So many of the times you find a dysfunctionality in the family, we will realize that it is born of such.
Mm-hmm.
And my principle is usually one of
Mm-hmm.
the techniques, or what was said by one of the theorists. And
Yeah.
I love this theorist who came up with the Gestalt theory. And he
Mm-hmm.
says that when we focus on the family, we talk about the whole. And he says the whole is more important than
Mm-hmm.
the total sum of its
Yeah.
content, the total
Mm-hmm.
sum of pieces. And I have my remote here. I would
Yeah.
show you that is one piece.
Mm-hmm.
The batteries are another piece, both of them. And then I also have this piece. If I wanted
Mm-hmm.
my TV on, when the batteries are not there, the TV will not
Yeah.
work. So this one is
Mm-hmm.
of no help. That son, that daughter, that husband alone, that wife
Mm-hmm.
alone is not
Yeah.
important. The
Mm-hmm.
total, the whole is more
Mm-hmm.
important than the sum total of its
Absolutely.
pieces. These pieces mean nothing. If I kept that one there, the battery there, the cover there, it
Mm-hmm.
means nothing. But the whole is more important.
Yeah.
So, more to that, I'm an evangelist. So much of my therapy is usually spiritual therapy. Spiritual therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is who I am. Maybe
Yeah.
more will come as we continue with our topic. Thank you, Joy.
Wow. Wow, amazing, amazing. I love what you're doing right there, Rebecca. And yeah, that's amazing. I like that you focus on spiritual therapy, which is very important. And so we'll go right into this into a topic for today. And the first question I'd like maybe for us to discuss is breaking up our generation, the generation that we are in today, comparing to the generation of our parents, is breaking up, is divorce happening more, more in this day and age? Actually, it is happening more in this day and age than compared to then. So where is the problem? Where are we doing wrong? Where are we going wrong, in this new generation?
That's a very relevant question, Joy. And I hear you say that breakups are happening more than the days of our parents. Actually, I would
Mhm.
say that it is not even breakups that are happening more,
Mm.
because maybe I would imagine that today we are talking of breakups of those people who are totally separated or
Yeah.
even divorced. I
Mm.
There's a lot of
Mhm.
breakups. within or under one roof. People who are already broken up, they have gone their separate way, but they walk out through the same door. So you're thinking they're together. And the question is, what could be the reason that these breakups are happening more than in the days of our fathers? I would talk about maybe 2 or 3 things. And the first thing is that we have already, times have really changed and evolved. There's a lot of evolution that has taken place. And out of evolution or times changing, a lot of things are happening when it comes to parenting. When you think of the days of our parents, much as they were not very much educated, I would attest to their presence, And we talk of parenting. When we talk of parenting, like I said, I do spiritual therapy. I usually say that parenting is God-given.
Yes.
It can never be delegated, and it can never be postponed. It is God-given, never delegated. Like I can't delegate to my sister, to my uncle, to my house help. I can't. I can only help. That is why they are called house helps. They can only help. Nowadays, we have delegated parenting, totally delegated. The other thing is that it cannot be postponed. We have postponed parenting, and we are telling ourselves, let me first of all rush abroad, stay for 5 years, amass the wealth I need, then I come back. By the time you're coming back, you will find if you left a 5-year-old, the time you're coming back, it's a 10-year-old. So they have gone to the next level of parenting. So one of the problems that have happened is that because of the evolving times, our parenting styles have moved from worse to worse. Those days, we used to stay with our mothers if our fathers were not there, because maybe they had multiple wives, and at times they would go, but our mothers were there. We used to feel the warmth. And the moment that father came, at least once, you would even feel the warmth of the father. Nowadays, many are the mothers who are present absent, if there is anything like that in the world of English. Present absent. They are there, but they are not there. And Joy, I want you to understand something. Being present is not physically being there. You could be there, but you are a stooge.
That's true.
Being present is emotional attachment that the child can feel. You can also feel them. Emotional attachment of the highest level. Now there is no emotional attachment. You have to stay like you're in a refugee camp where you're only waiting to be served food, and that is that. So that is the major reason. So number 2, when 2 people get connected, just like I said, I'm an evangelist, and so I am one of those people who participate most when people are getting married, and we say 2 who are joined become 1. But I have come to realize something, that we do not join 2, we join 4. We join 4.
Who are the other 2?
How do we join the 4? There is a child in me who never dies and never grows.
Oh, okay.
The other person, there's a child in them who never dies and never grows. That is the child who craves for love, the child who craves. You know, if you have a child like a 5-year-old or below, you will see them hanging on your skirts. They want you to be there always. You did not hug me, mommy. You could have brought for me a sweet mommy. You didn't do. They will seek for attention. Even when you have a visitor, they will keep calling you, and they didn't want you to tell them anything. They will come calling, mommy, mommy, mommy. Then when you turn, they don't have anything to say. They just smile. Look at the people who are separating, and you ask yourself, who is this mature lady of like my age, maybe, or your age? I saw you celebrate that 5 years of age. Congratulations. Many more.
That's 2 years.
32.
Yes.
Good. Imagine you being 32. Who is this mature lady of 32 years who would carry all the luggages from the house. Some of them sweep it clean, including the chairs, the clothes, and everything. They sweep and they disappear. In a month, or even before a month, they are looking for the
Yeah.
man they left. Hello? Now, what did you say after I left? You mean you can't even talk? That is not a 32-year-old. It is a 5-6-year-old that is now already craving for, you can, you cannot be looking for me. I mean,
Yeah.
so that child never dies. If you don't help this child in you to connect with the adult you,
Wow.
the child in you to connect with the adult you, fights and conflicts will always ensue. And it is the two kids that fight in the family. The child is the man and the child is the woman. They fight and they compete and they throw words to each other, all manner of dysfunctionalities. It is the children, not the adults. The adults are very mature. They know where they're supposed to go. They are very, wako na status zao yani. So I would talk about things. That is, parenting has really changed. So when this person expected to be taught the values of how to live, maybe they were never taught. When this other one grew, they were taught the values. Maybe you were taught to eat together. Dinner came. That other one, they ate whatever time they wanted. Now, when you get married, you want to eat together in the guy orders. Seriously?
Yeah.
You eat because you're hungry. Must you wait for me? And so that brings a whole quarrel, The other one maybe have been brought up in areas where there is a lot of fight. So they are used to hearing guns, explosives. That is the first noise they had. The other person, maybe the lady, the first noise they had was the hooting of cars at night at 4 a.m. when people are rushing to go for work. And here you are joined together. And this guy will keep on hearing voices of explosives and stuff. And you're wondering, what is the problem with you? So I would say separation that is happening nowadays is rooted in our past. Rooted in our past. Yes.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is quite insightful. I like what you're saying about this child who never dies, who never grows. And, and these two children, when they meet, there is so much, and we have to grow the child and, the child in us to be able to, to match up with the adult in us. That is quite amazing. And actually also love what you said about parenting, that parenting cannot be delegated. And that is why we have some of these challenges that we have today. So now, when it comes to breaking up, people break up for different reasons anyway, best known to them. Some, they are major reasons. Some, they are reasons where people look at them and they're like, "Hi, was that really a reason?" And others just because they lose interest or just something happens or they realize this relationship is not what they want, or this person is not who they want to be with. So when it gets to that point, is it possible for people to break up respectfully? And how can that be done without drama, without hurting so much? Of course, people will get hurt, but without dragging each other, too much emotional turmoil.
Well. The word respectively is very, very broad. Very broad. And I would wonder how we can be able to part ways respectively. Maybe when it was as a result of maybe abuse, maybe there was a lot of violence. We have people chop off other people's hands or parts of the body. So I would wonder where that respect would come from. It might be very, very difficult for a respectful separation. But one of the most important thing to know is that you have to first of all understand what was the reason behind our parting. That would determine that there will be respect. What was the reason behind? Just like you said, some are major, others are minor, depending on who is looking. What is minor to you may be major to me. What is major to you may be minor to me. So it depends on who is looking at what. Maybe if you parted ways because of values, your values agree. then it means you can have a sitting and tell one another, okay, I feel that our world view is different. So, and because it is different, I feel we cannot continue like this, we cannot match up. Then that returns us to the genesis of how you met one another, or how did you happen that you're now living together? How does it happen that you're now living together? So you are asking yourself, what joined you? That should be the question. What joined you? Were you joined by pregnancy? Maybe you found that you were pregnant and you decided, wow, let me go to that guy's home and tell him you're the owner of this pregnancy. Were you joined by war? Maybe there was some war and you ran away from your home and you met this person and you thought this is the refuge. Were you joined by some kind of inadequacy? Maybe I have found people say, you know, I needed to have a child and I couldn't have, and I found this guy who had children and the wife had run away, and I just became intimate with the children. I decided, let me keep the children because I really needed a child of my own. And now when they join with this guy and you get your own child, you start feeling like what had joined us together is no more there, because I now already have my children. I was coming because of these children. I needed to feel a mother. I needed to feel the warmth of children because I thought I was barren. I would never get children. Now I have my own. I feel like between us there was no love. So you need to first of all ask, was there love? If there was love in the beginning, then separating respectively is possible if there was love, because you cannot want to hurt that person that you loved. You cannot want to gossip them out there. You cannot want to malign their character. I have had ladies say, yes, we parted ways with him, and I don't want to talk about him. Why? It's because they feel I loved him, but circumstances caused our separation. So it depends very much on the reason why. Then also it depends with you as a person. Who are you? What kind of values do you ascribe to? How is your tongue? You know, there are people who will not have a problem saying anything anywhere about you, even when you're their wife. You have not separated. You're still under the same roof, covering yourself with the same blanket. But you will not feel ashamed even seated in a salon, talking ill about that man and saying he's a devil incarnate. Forget about that dog, and you will still go home to the same dog. So there are people who will not have a problem. They will not have a problem saying anything. So it also depends with you as a person. How is your control? How is your language? How is your tongue? How is your thought process? You as a person. And it boils down again to parenting. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And actually, I like what you've said about, you know, it depends with the person, and also about how did you feel about this person? Is it someone you loved? And that actually brings me to another question. So in the case where children are involved and parents are breaking up, what is your advice regarding informing the children? Should children be informed, or they just find one day they were living together with all parents, the next day they find that they have to move to another place with one parent? Maybe you can help us understand that. Is it important to inform the children? Because sadly, most of the parents, they will separate and just not tell children about anything that is happening. They just see life has changed and wanabaki wakijijazia in, so they have to fill in the gaps and realize, okay, so this is what is happening.
One of the worst emotional, I would say one of the worst emotions, or one of those things that can really hit you and throw you off balance and give you trauma, shock. Shock. Remember, if I were to separate with my husband today, it is I who separate him, not the children.
Yes, absolutely.
And my opinion must not be the opinion of my children. It is usually most unfortunate when you have to separate when the children are minors, so they don't have a say They cannot even talk. They don't know exactly what is going on, but they just found themselves waking up in a different room with a different parent, alone with their mother, and you just decide to tell them all manner of stories. Your daddy is dead. Your daddy was a monster. Your mom did this and that. They are left there in shock, and it traumatizes them. And that is why they release the shock through the chemicals and the non-chemicals I talked about, because they can't want to talk to you because they are wondering, if I talk to my mom or the father, if they have been left with either the daddy or the mommy, they are wondering, if I talk to one of them, will they also leave us, abandon us, like the way that other person abandoned us? I am a firm believer that the child needs to know everything that is happening. But of course, you have to release information depending on the stage of the child. Just like train children on issues of life. You know, a time comes when you're telling the child, do not touch the water, don't play with that water. As the child grows old, you call them, you give them a handkerchief, and you tell them, go into that karai now, start washing that handkerchief, pole pole too. So you train them using stages. You recognize they're in this stage now. They can be able to wash utensils. They can be able to carry this plate from the table to the kitchen. The same way, disseminate information in stages. Let them know if they are so young. Right now, we are not with our daddy, but very soon we will either be with him or we will not be with him. If you cannot be able to do it, involve a counselor. Let a counselor work with them depending on the state. But remember, what you tell a child, you know, in the Bible, they train up a child in the way you want, and when they grow up, they will not forget. Not that they will not move away from it, because we've seen people become drunkards and they were brought up in very good values of Christianity. But even when they are in class, they remember. And they will tell you, you know, me, I was brought up in a Christian family. You know, me, I was taught it's good to give. And they give even in clubs. So train them. Train them. You train to lie. Tell them your father was alikanyangwa na lori akakufa. Tell them that. Train them to lie. And when they grow up, they will not forget. And so one day, they may lie to you. So it is very, very important. You may hide it to them, and they will grow up, get to IG, get to WhatsApp, get to Facebook, and they will discover who the other parent was. And the reconnection will hurt you more. It may even drive you to depression, because they may connect with that other parent and move away from you completely. And you will feel the emptiness, and you will hate yourself. People have even committed suicide because they brought up children in their teenage, they departed from them. And that is very painful. So it is good to inform the children.
Which is really sad. Which is really sad, because it's very important. You know, the one thing that we forget about children is that they see, much as you tell them, as an example you're telling us today, you know, about telling the child, you know, don't play with water, but then we get to a stage, you know, where we now tell them to wash their clothes. So children also get to see what we are doing. They see when parents fight. They see, even if you don't tell them, they see it. And they may not tell you how it's hurting them and how they're feeling about it, and they are scared, but then they grow with it. They grow with it, and it eats them slowly. It affects them as they grow up, and that is why some of that's why we have some of the mental health cases affecting children from ages 14 to 29. That's the most affected age group according to WHO. So now.
Actually, Joy, that is why we are even seeing even some of our children are even killing their parents or even harming them, because they are releasing that bitterness they have kept in them, and they have blocked it and locked it in for quite a long time. So we see them doing all manner of, you know, things, and they end up behind bars. for something we
Yeah.
would have worked on. Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. And actually, these are conversations that parents must have. And yep, if we want to raise a better generation, then we have to be very intentional about this. So now, when it
Yes.
comes to breaking up, if it has to get to that point, and it happens, what is your advice on coping skills? How is it? What is the best thing to do now? Someone has been left, or a relationship has ended. What is your advice regarding healing? Starting your healing journey, picking up your pieces, because this is like loss and grief. So, what is your advice regarding that? Be it a relationship or be it a divorce that has ended up, a marriage that has ended up in divorce?
Wow. That's a very relevant question. And I would say that life is a progress and not a
Mm-hmm.
station. It is not like a
Wow.
bus stop where you go and stop and you wait for a
Mm-hmm.
vehicle to pick you. Life is progressive. You keep on moving and moving and moving. It never stops. Even when you're sleeping, life is still progressive, growth and everything. So when you know that life is a progress and not a station, then it only
Mm-hmm.
tells that when you
Yeah.
separate or divorce, you do not
Mm-hmm.
have to stand there. You do not have to stagnate there. You do not have to look like you're in a station waiting for the next wagon to come and pick you. You have to keep
Yeah.
moving. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going and not stopping. So what does that tell you? I usually say that life is like a wheel. Wheel. I call it a
Mm-hmm.
wheel. And I
Yeah.
say it has to be a smart wheel.
Mm-hmm.
A smart wheel. So the moment you separate, you must now focus on the smart wheel. Smart wheel.
Yes.
And Joy, if you look at the wheel I have here, you can be able to see, can you be able to see the wheels I have here?
I
At
not so
the,
clearly. I don't know what happened to your camera now. It's become a bit blurry. It was actually
mm-hmm.
good. Yeah, but I can see the wheel. It looks like yes, I can see it. It looks like that Nini for Audi.
So you can see the wheel, and you can see it is round, very well
Mm-hmm.
round, and full
Yeah.
of imejaza pumzi, so it is very well round. It is very well round. So you must always make sure that your wheel is not depleted. Your wheel is
Mm.
not depleted. How? If we say life is progressive, and if we say that life is a smart wheel, then how do I make sure that my wheel is not depleted? You
Mm.
must be the pilot of your life. Be the pilot of your life. You have divorced. You will get very many people waiting for you out there to tell you this is the way to go, this is the way to behave, or you would have done this. Like you said, there are major issues and minor issues. And I said your minor may be my major, your major may be your minor. So you will meet with people who would be telling you, you know what, you wouldn't have done this, you would have just stayed, you would have prayed harder, you would have involved people to come and pray over your husband and prophesy over them, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't have done this and that. Be the
Yeah.
pilot of your life. What is the work of a pilot? I will tell you the 5 things very quickly so that
Okay.
you know this is how to self-care. Number 1, determine your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Determine destiny inside that wheel so that the wheel can roll. One of the parts of the wheel is determining
Yes.
your destiny. By
Destiny.
determining your destiny, you are asking yourself, where am I right now? Right
Mm.
now, I'm a divorcee. Right now, I'm separated. Right now, I have one child or two. So,
Mm-hmm.
who am I? Where am I right now? Where am I standing here and now? When I divorced, I went back to my mother. Am I working? Am I not working? I went to
Yeah.
my own place. I
Mm.
rented my own house. Or where did I go? Where am I here and now? When you're determining
Mm.
your destiny. Then number 2, you ask yourself, where do I want to be? Where do I want to
Mm.
be? This is where I am
Very
here and now.
important.
So where do I want to be? And you give yourself time limits. In 10
Yeah.
years time, in 3 years time, in 5 years time, where do I want to be? Do I want to have remarried? Do I
Mm.
want to remained single forever and ever, amen? Do
Yeah.
I want to have gone abroad, or where do I want to be?
Yes.
So here is where you draw a vision board. You draw a vision board. You vision board.
Yeah.
So you're telling yourself, here is where I am financially. I want to be here financially
Yes.
in 10 years' time. Here is where I am emotionally. I'm so crushed. I'm
Yeah.
so down. This is where I want to be in 10 years' time. Do I want to still be gloomy? Do I want to be so depressive? Do I want to be so stressed out? Or do I want to be at peace? So
Yes.
there is, when you're drawing the vision board, you're also asking
Yeah.
yourself, I need to gain skills, I need to gain, a lot of knowledge, and I want to gain a lot of, I need to have support group so that I can be
Yes.
able to to determine my destiny. And you cannot be able to determine your destiny if you don't accept where
Oh.
you are. You need to accept where you are, much as it
Yes.
is not so easy to accept,
Yes.
because some
Yes.
of those people who have divorced were so determined to sustain their marriages.
Yeah, that's true.
So now you're telling them to accept that they are
Mm.
divorced. It's not
Yeah.
so easy. It is
Yeah.
easier said than done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because I say no one ever gets married with think expecting to come out, marriage is for life. So yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, marriage is for life joy, but I would say there are people who get into marriage, the marriage
Mm.
that we usually call come at your own risk. So they come
And
at your own risk.
the interesting thing, Rebecca, is that sometimes we know that we are coming at our own risk, but yes, we still
We
get
are
into
still
it. It
determined.
gets messy. I mean, when all the sides, they're all the red lights, and everything is, but we still get in there, and then wow, we're like, wow, okay, so these red lights were actually real. So
So we still get into the come at your own risk, and we become determined to remain in the
yes.
risk. That's a new one, Joy. It is debatable. So you accept the situation here and now, that this is the
Mm,
way things are. He has beaten me up. That woman has torn me apart. I'm thrown out. This is where I am here and now. So you determine
yeah.
your destiny. Then number two, remember I said you have to be a pilot of your life. So the
Yes.
pilot determines the destination. From here, where? Am I flying from Nairobi to Mombasa, or from
Yeah.
Nairobi to the United States of America? The preparation
Mm,
is totally different for those two. This
yes.
one of Mombasa knows I'm on air for 35 minutes or 25. That one knows it is 8 hours plus. So the
Yeah.
preparation is different. Determine your
Yeah.
destiny. Number two,
Mm,
the pilot must file his flight. So file your flight. Filing your flight means that you must inform the ground.
mm,
Filing your flight, you have informed the
yeah.
ground that I'm leaving here at this time, I'm headed to this destination. You have made all the preparations on the ground. Remember, I'm talking
Yes.
about the ground. File your
Yes.
flight. So you who has
Yes.
separated or divorced,
Yes.
you must file your flight. And how do you file your flight? It
Yeah.
is having an accountability partner. An accountability partner. You're telling
Mm-hmm.
this person, I am already divorced. These were the circumstances that led to my divorce.
Yeah.
And now that here is where I am, I want to go to a certain destination. And because you
Mm,
know you're weak, you know you're frail, you know you have been crushed, you know at
mm,
times you feel like you don't even want to continue with life, you need
yeah.
someone who can be an accountability partner, maybe keeping on reminding you, do you remember the destination? So that you don't
Mm-hmm.
just anywhere, you don't crash along the way. So the
Mm,
accountability partner, you could also go to a counselor and make them
mm,
the people that you're fighting your flight with, that this is where
yeah.
I'm starting, I'm headed here. You could
Mm,
also um, call in a mentor. so they can work with you. And by doing this, when you're finding your flight, you're now saying, I want to adjust. Remember, we already accepted in the beginning.
Yes.
So you're saying, I have filed my flight. I want to adjust. I cannot remain here. I cannot stagnate here. I cannot keep on living here. I cannot keep on talking about the negative things about that other person. They moved on. They are okay. It's you who has an issue. Then they don't have an issue. So you are adjusting. Then number 3, maintain the original path.
Okay, maintain the original path.
Original path. Remember, we are talking about healing and being able to go on after a breakup. Maintain the original path. Remember, I said there are people who get married because they really had values for family. By the fact that you have separated or divorced, it doesn't mean that now you don't have values for the family. So it means if you have a boy child, and this boy child needs a father, they need a father figure. You're telling yourself, if the father is ready to bring up this child, we can co-parent without me feeling bitterness. I will not stop them from getting value from their father. I will not stop the father from modeling. I will not stop him from telling them what they should know as boys. I will not stop him from taking his place. Maybe they are teenagers and they want to go for rites of passage. I will not say, oh, you left us, so let me take my boy and he will go and get circumcised. No, you're saying, I had values for families. I had a value for marriage. It is only circumstantially that I'm not there. So maintain the original path. But what does maintain?
Sorry to cut you short, Rebecca. I see our time is far much gone, and I know they are going to end this live after an hour. So we have about 5-6 minutes to go.
Yes. Okay. So maintaining the original path, you need to have constant congruent communication. Always.
Yeah.
Communicate congruently, even to your child. And also continually reassess your goals and see which goal do I change, which one do I advance, or just like that. Remember, we said you are adjusting. Then number 4, always be in touch with the air traffic control. Remember, you are the pilot. Always be in touch with the air traffic control. That is, you are in touch with the ground. Much as you are in the air, you are in touch with the ground. You're always in constant communication with the ground, and you're letting, because they're the ones controlling. They're the ones who know where you're headed. They're the ones who know what you're supposed to do from here. Sometimes the pilot can say, follow all the instructions of the watchtower. Follow all the instructions of the watchtower. And who is the watchtower? That is God. So you have to continually pray, read the Bible, always go for fellowships, listen from God, not from other people. Remember, there could be many pilots, there are other planes on the way. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. Finally, stay on course. Stay on course unless restricted. Stay on course unless restricted. That means you had respect for yourself right from the beginning. Now that you're divorced, it doesn't mean that you allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come your way. That any man can be your man. You don't go spoiling other people's families because yours fell apart. So stay on course unless redirected. And remember, the one redirecting you is God, because he's in charge of the watchtower. That means you have already advanced. You have already advanced. You are now moving on. You have accepted, you have adjusted, and you have advanced. And when you advance, you can now be able to talk about your divorce without feeling pain. You turn now your story your history into a story. You start telling people, molding them, talking to them, guiding them, because you have an experience. You can only be able to do that when you advance.
Wow.
So we have about those 5 things, and I believe the hearers and the listeners have heard, and they will go to expound on the same.
Oh my goodness, I just like the 5 elements of being your own pilot for sure. I don't think I even need to add anything because just be your own pilot and you will find your way. So that has been amazing. This has been an amazing conversation. I just feel like time has rushed us. And I love the cup I have because it says conversations improve your well-being. And I'm so happy that you come from Talk Power Therapy, the organization you run. And for sure, talk is power. Is it? Yes, talk is power. And these conversations, they are just amazing conversations that we need to have and be able to find help for ourselves. So thank you so much. It has been really amazing hosting you, Rebecca. And wow, I have this 5 nuggets of destiny, and I love to read the verse for the day before we finish. And the verse for today, 11th of February, being my birthday, is from 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." That's amazing. So I think that this is to encourage us. Let us also watch out for the people we get into relationships with, because as it says, bad company corrupts good character. So make sure that the people you allow into our lives, let them be people who add value to us, people who are a blessing to us. This has been amazing, and I can't thank you enough, Rebecca, and I am so grateful. Please give us your parting shot as we end, and please tell us briefly before we are cut out. Is it okay after how long should someone move on after a breakup, after the marriage is over?
My parting shot is that life is a progress and not a station. So don't allow anyone to stagnate you for whatsoever. And all circumstances keep moving. How long should you take before you advance? That is determined by you. How quick can you be able to process the loss? Because that is a loss and grief. Maybe that we shall talk about it later. How long can you be able to process? How fast can you be able to process the loss and grief so that you move on?
Yes.
So that is determined by you. And how quick you process depends on the people, the environment. And the environment includes the people around you. Whom do you listen to? Whom do you work with? Whom do you share your issues with? Are they those people who will keep on telling you, oh yeah? Are they those people who will keep on pulling you back? So how fast you advance depends on whom you employed. Remember, I said that one of the steps is filing your flight. Whom did you file your flight with? If you filed your flight with the wrong people, the negative people, they will keep pulling you back. The number 2 thing that can help you to advance very quickly is having a dustbin and a gratitude jar. Joy, you know I never leave that aside. The dustbin and the gratitude jar. That's where you pick all the negative words that you were told by your spouse. Wow, congratulations. Yeah. Where you put all the things you were told by your spouse, the wrong things. You're useless, you're hopeless, you take and throw. Pick and throw, pick and throw. Otherwise, if you remain with them, I'm hopeless, I'm useless, I can never make it, I'm the worst person in bed. You will never like yourself or love yourself. The other side of the gratitude jar, you're telling yourself, asserting yourself, thanking yourself for being able to come this far, thanking God for who you are, you know. So the dustbin, the gratitude jar. So that will help you advance faster. Then the other thing is to see a counselor. See a counselor. And that's why important. I'm here. I'm here, the founder of the Talk Power Therapy, to tell you talk is power. You keep it in your heart, it burns you, it eats you up. You talk about it, you offload. Absolutely. You offload. That is one way of having a dustbin. Come to a counselor, dust it there. The counselor will take the dustbin and throw the garbage. Yes.
Wow, absolutely. Yes.
That life is progressive, not static, not a station. Do not stagnate. Yes.
Do not stagnate. Amazing, amazing. And if you'd like to speak to Rebecca, feel free to reach out and I'll connect you with her. This has been amazing, Rebecca, and I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched. If you have any questions, please please feel free to send them in. Even if you're going to watch this later, if you have any question here, we'd be glad to help with that. So thank you so much, and I wish you a very beautiful night. I hope you have a restful night, and I am just so happy that you joined me for this conversation. May God bless you. And I know we'll be having another conversation with you, because we need to have this conversation and keep them going.
Thank you. God bless you too, and have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you. Good night, and good night to our viewers as well.
Good night.